What, you can't see my face? I know you didn't come here to see my face. You want to see some bike stuff. And you probably see I got a couple of frames if you smell what the DC is cooking. Roll that intro. Hello everyone, how are you? This is yours truly, Diabetic Cycling, coming at you once again. Today's episode is more or less of a housekeeping episode to kind of share with you where the channel is as we wrap up the year 2023 and what I have coming up for you guys, and just kind of giving you heads up, sneak peek, so to say. So if you are into all that I'll be sharing, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Ask me any questions down below, what you wish me to cover as we get around to all the things that I'm showing you today. All right, so the first business is I have a first impression episode that I shot on my Lauf Segla gravel bike. And that first impression video was a shot basically with about 300 miles under my belt. And then I also have a first impression video that's coming out that's done on my Cannondale Vigorelli, built up with 105, Windspace Hyper 23 wheels. So that's all coming out soon, I hope, before the year is over. And then I probably look ridiculous with the freaking frame hanging on my neck. So let's go ahead, get rid of that for the time being. And we're gonna talk about what I am working on, which I'll be sharing with you in the coming month. Okay, so far I was showing you a bunch of bikes that I like, that I ride. Of course, I had to part ways with some of the bikes that I've built up. And I do that for a couple of different reasons. I won't go into details for the time being, but here's the thing. So specialized Tarmac SL8. Now this is a normal specialized version. This is not the S-Works, the high-end stuff. Now I don't know too much about the difference. Of course, the carbon layups is going to be a little bit different. The S-Works is a little lighter. I am aware of all that. But having said all that, I am not a specialized fanboy. Matter of fact, a bunch of my homies who know me well that got wind of the fact that I'm going to be working on this, they all asked why all of a sudden specialized. So of course, you know, it is arguably what #1 brand in terms of cycling is concerned. A lot of people love Specialized. A lot of people love Tarmac. This is the latest iteration, SL8. I won't go into too much detail why I feel the way I do. So I am approaching this build with an open mind. And I'm actually quite excited to show you. Now, to be honest with you, if I'm not someone that's producing content for YouTube in the cycling sector, I probably wouldn't have picked this up. But wanted to kind of take it on, share with you what I think about compared to such as my previous bikes that I've put thousands of miles on, such as I'll be really interested to see how this bike stands up against my Cervelo Soloist, which is my desert island bike at this time, my favorite of last 10-12 years or so. Also, how does it stack up against all the bikes that I've had, that I've shown you guys, such as Pinarello Prince, Factor Austro Vam, Orbea Orca, BMC Road Machine. I mean, list goes on and on for me to have a good, solid opinion. So this is going to be built up with Ultegra Di2 12-speed. Now, there is one thing that I need to share with you. So one, I don't see any availability of their fancy integrated cockpit. So this bike will be built, Specialized Tarmac, will be built with my factor integrated handlebar, not because it's better or, you know, worse or any of that. This is just what I happen to have. And I didn't want to use the normal stem and the handlebar with this thing, so I'm going to go with the integrated handlebar out of factor. Now, of course, the question is, how will the integration work? Because factor has, I don't know if it's going to show, but factor has a hole cut out underneath the stem where the cables will exit. How does that line up with the frame? I don't know. We're gonna find out. Hopefully it works. So this handlebar itself is a 38 at the hood and 40 at the drop. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. We'll find out. If this thing doesn't work, I will go with the regular handlebar and stem situation. So that's the only caveat. Other than that, it's going to have a Dura-Ace C50-60 wheels on there. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this particular frame set. And the build happens tomorrow. All right, so as you could see, this is the frame that I had hanging on my neck, around my neck in the beginning of this episode. So this is the SuperSix Evo High Mod from Cannondale. Super excited about this frame as well. I am some way home with this. Now with the Specialized earlier, that actually isn't my first Specialized. I did have two Allays before at some point in my life. But the Cannondale Evo High Mod, I've had, this must be my like fourth. I've put in thousands and thousands and thousands of miles on my previous Evos when I was in the phase of building light is better type of a bike. I've since then grown, matured, and I no longer feel that lightest bike is the best. Weight actually means almost nothing to me at this point. Case in point, I'm riding around in a Linsky Titanium and a Chinelli Vigorelli. My Ribble Ultra is pretty heavy, so the weight I don't really care. So long as it falls, so long as a bike falls somewhere between 15 and 20, I will happily ride. By the way, I believe my Chinelli is actually heavier than 20. Nonetheless, back to the SuperSix Evo. Okay, so as you can see, this frame wears a pretty muted paint job. It's a shiny coated black at the front, and as it goes this way, it fades into this matte black finish. And then on top of the top, I don't know if the camera is going to catch it. I'm going to, is it showing? I can't tell. So on the top of the top tube, there's some kind of a marble-esque, raw carbon-esque type of a decoration, do I call this? So that's that, and look, I'm going to be building this up exactly the same as the Specialized, the Tarmac, exact same everything, with the exception of the wheels. This is going to wear Dura-Ace C36 in the front and C50 in the back. But since the wheels are going to be the same Dura-Ace family, I could swap back and forth between the bikes, and I don't have to worry about the rotors rubbing or anything of the nature. So why am I doing this? By the way, so before I go into why am I doing this, this one's actually going to be built up with Cannondale's Momo design integrated handlebar, which actually has the same pattern thing that I showed you on the top tube, on the top surface of the handlebar. So that's what's going to be happening. This one doesn't have any, actually I take that back. I believe this handlebar also has a flare at the drops. Anyhow, so there you go. So why am I doing this? Why am I building up two, dare I say, near identical bikes? These are two bikes you walk into dealers and you can buy. Of course you can buy online. Especially, I think Specialized is trying to go consumer direct doing away with their dealers. Do I have that right? Because I've been seeing how their stores are popping up everywhere. So I don't know what's going on with that. But as of today, I'm gonna just say these two are some of the most popular road bikes brands that you can walk into. And if you're a roadie enthusiast, I mean, these two are gonna be on the pretty high up on your list, right? And these two are really dang near identical in terms of everything. And at the end of this episode, I am going to show you the raw weight of the frames just as they are. So that's no marketing weight. They are finished the product. They are wearing their respective paint job. So, and they're both wearing front derailleur hangers out of the factory. All the bottle cage bolts are on there, and all the stickers, all of that is on here. So this is as minimal, and the rear derailleur hanger also all on there. So I am going to take out the axle spacer that comes when it's just naked, and then I will weigh the frames and tell you what the weights are. The Cannondale is 51, Specialized is 52, which is basically my size. I wanted to show you and bring you an episode from my perspective. The SuperSix Evo versus Tarmac SL8 in terms of, are they identical? Do they have any discerning differences? If you are buying one of these, which way I think you should go, or maybe I come out at the end of this whole thing going, hey, it's basically the same thing, just get whatever's available. I don't know. Will one be better? I mean, yes, Tarmac raced by many pro teams right now, although I think one of them just changed, right? Total Energy is no longer riding Tarmac, but that's neither here nor there. And then Cannondale, obviously ridden by the EF Education team. Obviously, I'm just going to show you the enthusiast level frames. This is not Lap 71. This is not S-Works, because I am not a pro rider that gets sponsored. And my videos are really geared towards those enthusiast, weekend warriors and the guys that are just hammering on club rides and, things of that nature. So that's it. That's the introduction. Tomorrow, I'm going to be building both of these with my trusted mechanic, Jeff. And I'll bring you some first impressions. Hopefully, I have a doozy of a ride planned this Saturday, which one of these will be taken out with. So I cannot wait. So that's it. That's what's going on with the channel. And I have a bunch of episodes planned. Hopefully, with the as the year winds down, my day job will slow down just a tad enough for me to produce some videos and come at ya. All right, that's it for today. Now, let me show you the weights and I'll end this episode. First up, Specialized Tarmac. It's coming out at 1.15 pound, which translates to about 880 grams. Again, this is the Specialized Tarmac, size 52. All right, next up is the Cannondale SuperSix Evo High Mod, which comes in at 870 grams, basically the same thing, which it's a pound and 15 ounce. There's your weight differences or lack thereof. When I said identical, I meant identical. Same thing. All right, that's it, you guys. I will see you later.